Hey, Steve Post from Motor Racing Network here in the Racing Electronics display at PRI, talking to Late Model Royalty and the series director of the World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Model Series, Steve Francis. Steve, how are you, man?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
Cool stuff. It really, truly is. PRI show, always a great chance to catch up with a lot of folks and just catch up and wheel and deal a little bit. How are things going on the late model side over for the World of Outlaws?
We've seen a lot more promoters, not as many race teams, so to speak, yet here, but a lot of the promoters, and it's, a lot more of the business end of it up here this year than I've seen in the past.
No doubt about it. It does change. Things evolve, that's for sure. Steve, when we look at 2023, your season, 38 races, Bobby Pierce, the champion of the series. Just how did your 2023 go?
Well, it was the first year, I had a lot of really, really good race teams with Bobby, Chris Madden, Brandon Shepard, Kyle Bronson, Brian Shirley. The list goes on and on down through there. That took a lot of, they took a chance on a guy that wanted to build something a little different than the way it had been done in the past. And all those guys, I allowed all those guys to have input. Now, did we all agree on everything every time? Hell no. But we were, they at least felt like they had a voice that they could talk to us about, hey, what about this? Or I might call them and say, what about this? Well, that won't work because. So we went a little different route with it. And those guys were, Dennis Erb was a great champion that I was able to talk to a lot. He is still one of the unique owner-operators with him and Heather. He doesn't have somebody else standing behind him paying bills. And so I was able to get a lot of broad perspective, plus all the experience that I'd had in the years of racing and all the things that I'd done. I've been with some of the most well-financed race teams in the world, and I've been the brokest guy at the racetrack too. So, we were able to kind of try to tie all that together and build a program that supported the winner. And, Bobby won $500,000 with us in 38 races, but yet we were able to make the guy that finished 7th or 8th in points won over $200,000 in those 38 races. So we tried to build it where we supported a lot of race teams and made it where, for lack of a better word, we have 15 healthy race teams going up and down the road.
What has this transition been like for you? And your history with the World of Outlaws, if I'm not mistaken, the very first World of Outlaw late model race at Volusia, you won the race. So your history goes back so much. What has this been like, this transition for you personally as a racer? Now you've left the dark side, you've moved to the dark, whatever that dark side thing is. What's it been like for you to be on this side of the equation now?
Well, you don't even know how far I go back. I ran the original World of Outlaws late models in '88 and '89 as a rookie. So when Ted Johnson had the whole thing,
that original one, yeah.
Yeah. So I was way back then. Then I was fortunate enough. I won the first race in '04 when when it was revamped and everything like that, and then I was the '07 champion. But I think I lost like 4 of those championships by a total of like 8 points or something like ridiculous. So I was a perennial second place guy. Then to switch to this, I married Amanda, my wife, and her parents were promoters, so I didn't actually even have a clue of the promoter in. I was the racer. What the hell are they thinking about? They should do this. And then I got to get a taste of it from them, and I continued on my racing career. When I retired, I did some other stuff and in the racing world, and then Brian Carter called me and said, man, I think I want you to build this like a racer, revamp it, do it different. So I didn't understand maybe all the business ends of things. Sometimes it's, you have more people. As a racer, I was worried about my little 20 by 20 pit stall, and now I'm worried about the facility, the event, plus the 45 or 50 racers that are there, plus the vendor row, and all of those things that I didn't actually give that as much credit as I should have.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as people give it credit for.
I am fairly confident, that's for sure. When we look at 2024, 54 race schedule, 33 tracks, $1.3 million point fund winner circle fund. It looks like the lessons you've learned, the conversations you've learned, you've been able to apply some of that. What's your take on what you guys have been able to put together for next season?
Well, a lot of the owners got together this year and they asked about, maybe not so much top-heavy purses. So we built some stuff, in that we took some money, we took some first place 50,000 to win races and made them 35. Right. Added money to the purse. Talladega short track with David Miller and Adam Stewart. They were one of the first to jump on board. Bobby Kohler at Ultimate Speedway. Bob Timms, Mississippi Thunder Speedway. We built purses that are not top heavy, but yet they're still 10 to 15,000 more than our 50,000 was behind. So you got 25 to 30,000 spread from second to 25th. Guy wins a $35,000 to win race. He can't be too upset. You know, it wasn't 50. But then we also adjusted our points fund, and we added money like the top 5, I think, in points this year got a $25,000 bonus. So we made it back up to them, but tried to keep teams healthy that can go up and down the road through the year. So we tried to hit that balance. We still have our 3, 4, 50,000 to win races, and really, I want to see what race teams truly support in this. Do they, you know, okay, this is what you asked for. Now I gave you what you asked for. Is this what you really want? So we're going to see how that plays out, and you know. I'm learning every day just like everybody else in this sport is learning, whether you're tuning on a race car, a crew guy, a driver. If you're not learning, you're getting left behind. If you think you know it all, you're getting left behind right now.
One of the really neat things that you guys did last year was the Winner's Circle program, the monthly money. I think it was $3,000 per month for guys that supported you. What was the reaction to that, to get some money in the pockets of the guys during the running of the season?
Well, the real thing, you know, we've always had some tow monies that was based on getting to the racetrack and all that, but we're becoming more and more businesses. We're not Saturday night race teams, we're businesses now. These are operated as businesses. And it's hard to budget when, I'm just going to use 2023, we rained out, I think, 12 of our first 18 events. So our race teams would not have gotten any tow money, but the bills for the salaries for the employees and stuff on these race teams still come. So the idea behind that was, we're guaranteeing you this money, and we rained out every race we had in March. But April the 1st, them guys got a $3,000 check in the mail. So it made it easier for them to figure out how to put the programs together and how to budget and how to do that.
That is really, really cool. All right, 2024, getting the drivers lined up, you're getting everything signed and sealed, the schedule is out and everything like that. What's the degree of optimism as you get ready to go next year?
Well, I think we're continually growing. You know, Brian Carter and the whole staff of World Racing Group have gotten behind the late model program as the sprint cars, you know, and we're actually working together, the sprints, the midgets, the extreme midgets, the World of Outlaw sprint cars, the UMP program, the Northeast, and we're all communicating way more and working together to build a better model for everybody. You know, Carlton Reeves might call me and say, hey, this worked good, or this racetrack would really be good for you. I might call him and say the same thing to him. So we're building a more interworking deal with the whole World Racing Group program, where that the PR team and the marketing team knows what the sprints are doing and knows what the late models are doing and knows what everybody's doing. So we're trying to make it where we grow as a group. You know, one group doesn't go here and the other goes over here, and we're trying to look at our scheduling, where that last year Carlton and I did communicate a lot when we first started scheduled. I was new to the job, and I wound up on top within a couple of hours of a World Outlaw sprint car race with a World Outlaws late model race. Well, that's not financially smart for anybody. So we've paid way more attention to separating ourselves out and making our product a stronger product.
Sounds good, that is for sure. We appreciate your time, appreciate the partnership with Racing Electronics as well, and thanks for spending some time with us, Steve.
Thank you, anytime.
There we go, the Kentucky Colonel, easy for me to say, Steve Francis from the World Racing Group, the World of Outlaw late models. Stay with us all weekend long. More from the PRI show, the Racing Electronics display here in Indy.